Take it.
Oh, Mike, okay, Mike. When Tim first got in touch with me to come back this year, part of it was let's talk about the state of the Irish language. Let's talk about things doing with how is the language doing, sort of thing. And then I thought, oh, we could do. I could tell a sad story to say, oh, the Irish language is dying, and let's gather for the wake one more time, But it's but I thought instead of like giving a talk with bar graphs of like how much the Irish language has increased or decreased, and I thought I'll just talk about myself a little bit, and then read some poems that I chose to talk about the state of the Irish language. So as Tim mentioned, yes, I was born right up the river here in Kingston. Ragugas Tagame, Kingston, New Auric. And Mommy came from Donegal, from the Gaeltacht. You might be familiar with groups like Clannad or their younger sister Enya. And well, they're nominally from a place called Gweedore, but really they are from the Rosses, and that's where my mother's from. So Irish has this like really particular, if you are from such and such a place, that is your identity, And Irish place names will just kind of make me laugh, because it's not so much that they are in and of themselves funny, but it's just that recognition of place, of where, and like only those people from that place will know that place. So there's a place name that came to mind out on the other, an Aran Island. There's an Aran Moor Island up at Donegal, and there's a place called Polawadi, which translates basically to the hole of the dog, which in and of itself, But people will just say these place names, but to me they're hysterically just like, that's that place, that place, Polawadi. So anyway, so growing up in an Irish-speaking house, I was the Irish speaker of the family, with my mother being the one who taught me. I have two older brothers who don't even have what they call in Ireland the couple of foco, the two words. So anyway, so I had the privilege of growing up having these Irish moments, and going back home to Ireland. It was like I was born in New York, but I home to Donegal. I think Irish people have that sense of you're not quite here and you're not quite there, but you're home there, boy, or home there, girl, And so I chose 3 poems from 3 Irish poets, and one of the really wonderful things about the Irish language is because there's this history of English spoken in Ireland, some of these poems are translated into English by some of the top flight Irish English language poets. So the first one I'm going to give you is a poem called Cleanu, or Lament, by an Irish poet in Donegal named Cathal Sharkey. But Cathal Sharkey's poem is translated into English by none other than Seamus Heaney, so it's like you get a double dose of good language here, folks. So this is a poem called Cleanu, and I'm going to read it first in Irish, and then I'll give you the Seamus Heaney's translation of it and a few other couple of Falcolella, alright? So Cleanu, a Gevnia Mawahar, in memory of my mother. Hyn man la celda tata, arwth Mawahara, ala hawasi mari, pata da chan pera, esti a gragacha cropt on the behi, a curtu a vi much la marawanta sauri, as brew anala a vi much la marawanta sauri, as brew anala oran barge vidrasu nagaira, sheer on the hala trafa, hura timach and marfa, slapanato rapa, prehan ruha and a sliha. Higa la baha garhimi and J Jeriaschi Afnan Hostra Hawan as Gananan Eri Harla a Hurch Ari Peace Slashkalpaha. Ni hockey me a hasu some top track between Das la hock me as a hasu a harlam Guji gar Purus and Ratati o Ita Mohri Dampara me and Shun Naha, Egyalu Bunyanushi, Kapari Aram Pati. And you, Tamokyangi, a Sifru Awash, Ansarth Naveli, Changi Arnaihaha, Gatha, a Gragaha Krapta Nafali, a Skananan Iya Hara, La Dasart, Ranam nasmahani jaralaha as nahenaha kriha chart kutapi. Alaba krisaha re hanfela. Dalikushi luhuan galia, lu kaha, ahru nakahadari hanraha. Shaw I akrahnu, Shaw I agelu. Neil Mawaharan Shaw na nahugnu ahanyu. Esni yani yalu fian awilu. Lament in memory of my mother. Seamus, excuse me, Carlo Sharkey is writing about his mother. Okay? So this is in memory of his mother. Lament. I cried on my mother's breast, cried sore the day Molly, our pet old ewe, died, trapped on a rock face of a baby. It was sultry heat. We'd been looking for her, sweating and panting, driving sheep back from the cliff edge when we saw her attacked on a ledge far down. Crows and more crows were eating at her. We heard the cries but couldn't get near. She was ripped to death as we suffered her terrible, wild, last breath, and my child's heart broke. I couldn't be calmed, no matter how much she tightened her arms and gathered me close. I just cried on till she hushed me at last with a piggyback and the promise of treats of potato cake. Today it's my language that's in its throes, the poet's passion, my mother's father's mother's language, abandoned and trapped on a fatal ledge that we won't attempt. She's in agony. I can hear her heave and gasp and struggle as they arrive, the beaked and ravenous scavengers who are never far. Oh, if only anger came howling wild out of her grief, if only she'd bare the teeth of her love and rout the pack. But she's giving in. She's quivering badly. My mother's gone, and the promises now won't ease the pain. Well, there you go. Thank you. See, you get, top choices of language on either side here, Carlo Sharkey is perhaps the leading male poet in the Irish language today. That's just me being a little prejudiced because he comes from where Mommy comes from. But he's and then there's the leading Irish woman poet writing in Irish, who again, everyone in Ireland speaks English and Irish. So I mean, we have this sense of language. Even like just being introduced, my name can be pronounced Sean or Shan. My mother's name was, when she was a wee girl, she was Breege. But when she came to America, it was transformed into Bridie. So I always had this, like, who am I in this language? Am I that? Am I this? Am I Sean? Am I Shin? This. So we're going to move on to Nuala Ní Dhomhnaill, who comes from Tipperary, the south of Ireland, and Kerry and such. So her language is Munster Irish. I won't attempt to speak as a Munster Irish speaker because I can't. I'm a Donegal speaker from the Hudson Valley. But she's writing again about the state of the Irish language. And Nuala Ní Dhomhnaill chose to write her poems in Irish. And she does not translate her poems into English. She gets other great Irish poets to translate her words into English. So her poem is called